Do you believe in revelations? Recently, a simple Venezuelan boy caught people's attention on social media for supposedly predicting the terrible earthquakes, the strongest we've ever seen, happening in Venezuela. Many people were shocked that the boy got exactly right what was going to happen. And now, my dear brother and sister, this boy is back in the news saying that it's also going to happen in the United States. I want you to watch this boy with me who, for many, is a little prophet. Watch with me, and then we'll be back.
A young Venezuelan who went viral for his visions about earthquakes in Venezuela is once again saying that Leviathan will come upon New York, San Francisco, Hawaii, and Sao Paulo. Pay attention to this. Watch.
Isaiah 54 and 57 and Jeremiah 50 up to chapter 51. Babylon represents New York. The first destroyer of New York, Sao Paulo, San Francisco, and Hawaii will be Leviathan. And the last point number 5, the biggest tsunami in history will be in San Francisco with waves at least 8.8 meters long and a maximum height of 30 to 32 meters. It will be at the magnitude level of the movie The Impossible. That's what the Lord Ben Elohim El Shaddai says.
I don't know if you're the type who believes in this kind of thing or not. That's up to each person. But what I can do here is explain a little about this creature called the Leviathan. What exactly is this? What does the Bible say about it? Anyone from the era of old games, like Final Fantasy VIII, has seen this creature many times. There you summon it, it's a GF, and as you can see in these images, it comes directly from the mind. A portal opens, and this creature appears in the physical world. I'm bringing these images to you because they are extremely revealing. Look, Leviathan is not going to physically attack the world, but it will spiritually transform into a lot of water, and it's this water that will do the attacking. It's in fiction, my noble and dear brothers, that the sorcerers reveal many things. And since I know you want to know all the details about this, and there's no more time to waste, grab the guava paste with cream and crack right now. And let's start our Bible studies segment. Before the solid earth existed, there was only the abyss of waters, a black, infinite, and lifeless ocean. But in the darkness of that liquid mass, something was moving. Something so vast that the very movement of the seas was nothing more than its breathing. His name echoed in empires forgotten by the dust of time. To the Canaanites, he was Lotan. To the Babylonians, he evoked the fury of Tiamat. To the Hebrews, he became the ultimate terror mentioned in the scriptures, the Leviathan. Unlike a common sea monster, the Leviathan is not just a biological beast. He is the very personification of primordial chaos, the untamable force that existed before divine order and that waits in the darkest depths of the world for the right moment to awaken and undo all of creation. What's curious here is how this creature emerged from Bronze Age legends to become the king of hell in the Middle Ages, and most importantly, according to ancient prophecies, how could the awakening of Leviathan cause the destruction of our world? To understand the biblical Leviathan, we need to go back more than 3,500 years in time, specifically to the ruins of the ancient city of Ugarit in present-day Syria. On clay tablets inscribed in cuneiform, archaeologists discovered the Baal cycle. In these mythological texts, the figure of Lotan or Litano appears, a seven-headed sea serpent associated with the ocean god Ayen. Lotan represented the untamable ocean, the destructive force that threatened to swallow civilization, and the divine order brought by the storm god Baal. In Mesopotamia, we find a similar narrative in the creation myth Enuma Elish, where the primordial sea goddess Tiamat takes the form of an oceanic dragon, who needs to be defeated by the god Marduk so that the universe can be organized. Notice the pattern here. For the ancient peoples of the Middle East, the ocean was not just water. The open sea was an abyss of unknown darkness, unpredictable and immortal. When the biblical authors wrote about Leviathan, they used cultural symbols to demonstrate the supreme power of the God of Israel over the cosmic forces of chaos. In the Hebrew scriptures, Leviathan is described with terrifying details. The most important and impressive text is in the book of Job, chapter 41, where God himself challenges man to try to face the beast. Can you catch Leviathan with a hook? Its backbone is made of rows of shields sealed tightly. Torches of fire come out of its mouth. Sparks leap from it. Smoke pours from its nostrils, like from a boiling pot. Its heart is as hard as stone. If the sword strikes it, it has no effect. Neither does the spear nor the dart. He looks down with disdain on all that is lofty. He is king over all the proud. But rabbinic tradition and Talmudic texts, such as in the Baba Batra Tractate, go even further. The sages teach that God originally created a pair of leviathans, a male and a female. However, if these two colossal creatures were to reproduce, the weight and speed of their offspring would destroy the entire ecosystem of the earth. To preserve the world, Talmudic tradition recounts that God castrated the male leviathan and preserved the female in deep salty waters to serve a crucial purpose in the end times. In Psalm 104, the Leviathan is described almost as a majestic inhabitant of the seas created by God to play in the waters. However, in Isaiah 27-1, the prophecy takes on a clearly apocalyptic character. On the day of judgment, the Lord will punish the Leviathan, the swift and twisting serpent, and will slay the dragon that is in the sea. As Christianity spread during the Middle Ages, Leviathan ceased to be just a sea monster, a creation of God, and merged directly with absolute evil. In the book of Revelation, the ancient serpent and the great red dragon are associated with Satan. In European medieval art, Leviathan gave rise to the famous concept of the hellmouth. The engravings of that time depicted the gates of hell not as an iron portal, but as the open, smoking jaws of a gigantic sea monster, swallowing the souls of the damned into eternal damnation. In the 16th century, the theologian and demonologist Peter Binsfield classified the 7 princes of hell, assigning each one to one of the 7 deadly sins. Leviathan was named the demon of envy, the one who covets God's creation and wishes to corrupt the divine order. In Gnostic circles, such as the sect of the Ophites, the view of Leviathan was even more cosmic and unsettling. For the Gnostics, Leviathan was the primordial serpent that encircled the entire material universe, biting its own tail, the Ouroboros. It acted as a cosmic barrier created by the demiurge to imprison human souls within the physical world, preventing them from ascending to the higher spiritual plane. Now that we know the main forms of this legend, we come to the heart of the myth. How will Leviathan destroy the world in the end times? In Jewish and apocryphal prophecies, the destruction of the cosmos begins when the chains that bind the primordial beasts in the abyss are broken. Leviathan does not act alone. He is part of a trinity of mystical monsters: Beremon, the giant of the earth; Zizi, the colossal bird dragon of the skies; and Leviathan, the lord of the oceans. When the last days come, Leviathan will stir in the depths of the ocean with incalculable fury. As it writhes, the ocean floor will boil. The heat of its incandescent breath will make the oceans boil, sending toxic clouds of sulfur and steam over the continents. The movement of its colossal scales will trigger tsunamis of global proportions, sweeping away coastal cities and swallowing the mainland. The seas will rise immeasurably. They will be what causes the planet to return to the state of liquid chaos that existed before creation. On the devastated land, the final confrontation will take place, the battle between Leviathan and Beremon. The bull of the earth and the serpent of the sea will face each other in a titanic combat. Leviathan will try to suffocate Beremon with its fins and tail, while Beremon will use its horns to tear through the serpent's armor. This battle will cause the earth's structures to collapse entirely. However, rabbinic tradition, in the Apocalypse of Baruch and the Book of Enoch, reveals that the Creator himself will intervene to end the battle, striking down both creatures with his divine sword. The death of Leviathan marks the end of the old world and the beginning of the Messianic era. In this tradition, the flesh of the sea monster will be served to the righteous at a celebratory banquet. Its shining skin will be stripped off and stretched over the heavens, serving as a tent of light and protection for those within the New Jerusalem. Leviathan, therefore, closes the cycle of existence. He begins as the chaos that threatened creation and ends as the sacrifice that feeds the reconstituted new world. Over millennia, Leviathan has ceased to be just an ancient myth and has become the greatest symbol of our fear in the face of the unknown. He represents the fragility of our civilization in the face of the uncontrollable forces of nature and the cosmos. Even though we consider ourselves so technologically advanced and have an answer for everything that happens in our world, the truth is, my brothers, that in the face of the forces of nature and, for those who believe, the forces of God, we remain as fragile as we have always been. Our technology sometimes makes people think we've overcome the past, but when faced with tragedies, we realize that's a big lie. Technology, in fact, is very welcome. It helps us understand the world better, but it cannot save us from the heavy hand of God. And if you stop to think about what was said here, that this creature will heat the oceans with its breath, you'll see that it's not just a Christian belief, not just something from crazy believers. No. As you saw here, several civilizations believed in this myth. Why would different peoples, often with no connection to one another, create the same legend or a very similar one? It just seems like the same story being told by different people. That is, in different forms, but when you look at it, it ends up being the same creature. If we take into consideration that, in fact, the waters have been getting warmer, just as it was described here, adding to the fact that, by moving its scales, waves, in other words, huge tsunamis, would be created. It's not hard to imagine that it's something spiritual, not physical. I don't think that even if we took a state-of-the-art submarine, we would find this Leviathan in the flesh. But, just like it was shown in the Final Fantasy game, this spiritual entity can indeed be the cause of these things. And it's there, waiting for the hourglass to run out, for the end times to begin. This video ends here. I hope you enjoyed it and, above all, understood it. It's not easy to make a video like this. It takes a lot of research and many hours of editing. So, if you want more content like this, please share it, show it to more people so we can keep bringing this kind of content to you. I really appreciate your presence. It's thanks to you that we're still here. Leave a like. You might think it's silly, but it helps a lot, especially when you comment, even if it's just a little emoji. Your friend Davey is signing off for now. God bless you, take care, and always facing the supernatural here on Encarando O Sobrenatural Official.